I think God expects us to use our intelligence, and then when we run out of intelligence, He makes up for what we can't do. So I started, plotting a feasible walking route. I let my wife know. She was in Uganda on a mission there. We were missionaries to Uganda. I let her know that I was going to be walking across America. I needed her to come back. So she had plenty of time to get ready and come back. She was excited about coming back after so much time in Uganda. So now we planned to start March 1st from North Carolina coast, Kill Devil Hills. But the winter in North Carolina held on too long. So we were delayed until April 23rd. But that April 23rd was my 19th wedding anniversary.
4 hours, 45
so I got to...
minutes. Distance, 9.9.
This phone likes to talk.
0
Anyway,
miles.
it was on my
Average
19th
pace,
wedding anniversary. We started with a kiss and a
minutes,
prayer
46
from the ocean.
seconds per mile.
And, I had to get an RV. God said, she can't sleep in the back of this car here. I was going to be camping in the back of this car. He said, no. This woman needs something better. You have to get an RV. I said, how do I get an RV? I'm just on Social Security. How can I buy an RV? He said, I got you one. So he found me one down in South Alabama. These people gave it to us cheap. So I just make some little payments each month. So my wife has a place to relax. I have a place to sleep. And she reminds me all the time that this RV is also for me because I'm an old man and I need a good place to rest. So God's taken care of us in many ways. We've been meeting wonderful people in America. I've been through North Carolina, South Carolina, Georgia, Tennessee, Alabama, Mississippi, Arkansas. What is that? 8 states? 7 or 8 states. And now I'm in Oklahoma. And I'm going to be going all the way across Oklahoma until we get to Santa Monica, California is the goal. But I'm not in a hurry. I'm not racing. I want to meet with people. I want to talk with people. I want to encourage people. And I want to wake up people in America to take action. Stand up for what they believe. Our country is sliding away from us. The Christian aspect they're taking it away altogether. They took God out of the school. They took God out of... They're trying to take it out of the military and everywhere. This country was not supposed to be just a secular country. This country was founded on religious principles. Our founding documents are all religious principles. Our first president, George Washington, in his closing address, he said, "A nation cannot stand unless it's founded on religious principles." Now what do we see in America? We see ourselves in wars, many wars. People in foreign countries hating us. Why? Because we have gone away from our original principles. Those founding fathers did not want America to be going over and taking over other countries and telling other people how to run their business. Those founding fathers wanted us to be a sovereign nation, the United States of America. and show the rest of the world a better way. Not force them into a better way, but show them a better way. I'm a veteran. I'm from Vietnam, war. 2.5 years there. But I don't like war. I think if you, well, some people are not very reasonable, but I think trying to reason things with people is the best policy. And I think, okay, I'm not a politician, so I don't know. As a politician, I don't know how to think. Right? They talk about radical Muslims. And these radical Muslims are doing all these terrible things. But where were those radical Muslims when I was a teenager? They were still out there somewhere. But where were they? They weren't taking people's heads off and doing funny things. Why? Because we changed. We changed, and that caused them to be more radical. Right? I never heard of some Muslim problem when I was a teenager. You know? You know, I didn't hear of somebody coming into a school and shooting somebody.
Yeah.
It's all of these drugs now, the pharmaceutical drugs, psychotic drugs, all of these things. They make people's minds go haywire. And, you know, life is too complicated. We need to have the simple life that we had before. Our kids, our young people, they don't know how to respect their own parents. And the parents, I don't think the parents are showing the right respect to their children. So God said to me, carry the American flag as a symbol of respect and dignity, which can unify the American people. He told me to salute everyone I see when I'm carrying this flag as an example of respect. Because in the military, the subordinate has to salute the superior. The Bible teaches to esteem others greater than yourself. So when I salute these people, I'm saying, I respect you greater than myself. And that's an example to them to think about it, and then maybe start showing respect to other people, and especially to their family members. You know, a nation is built on families. The family unit is the building block of a nation. And if we don't heal our families, we cannot expect to have our nation healed. We have to put the television back somewhere, turn it off. We have to get rid of some of these gadgets and limit the internet and whatever. And have family hour, have family times, you know? When I was a youngster, if you didn't come to the meal table when the meal was served, you just didn't eat, period. You had to eat with the family. And everybody could not be talking at the same time. And the television could not be on. It was undivided attention to the person, you know, if the father wasn't there for some reason, but if the mother was there, the parents had the attention of the children. And then if the child wanted to talk, they get their turn to talk, but they have to be eating their meal. And we don't discuss bad things at the table. We save that for a special meeting. So, things are so different now. People don't have time for each other. News people don't have time to go reporting, It's true. Television people say, oh, we don't have enough camera people. What up? Everybody is just so busy. They don't even have time to sleep, hardly. What's wrong? Is it chasing money? Why are we chasing money? Why are we chasing money? We need to get a fancier house, a fancier car. Do you know I've been there? I was rich in the 1980s. I was a wealthy man.
Mm-hmm. What did you do?
I was in business. I was an electronics technician. And I had a coin-op business, video games, pool tables.
Time.
I was making the equivalent of something like $300,000 now per year.
Minutes.
That's
Distance.
kind of wealthy.
9.9.
I had everything I wanted. I had everything I needed. I had everything money can buy.
47.
Boats, cars, new house. But you know what? I fell into that trap. Chasing money. I could never get enough money. My pockets are full and I don't have enough. And I didn't even know my family for a while. So I got hooked on that in the 1980s. And that's what all of America now is hooked on. And what did it get me? It got me sickness. My health failed me. I almost died. I became alcoholic. And then God called me. He said, now, I want you to work for me. Oh, I resisted that one for many years. Then about 27 years ago, I was dying. It was all I was supposed to die. Leukemia, heart disease, so many problems. And God asked me to work for Him, and I said, I'm not fit to work for anybody. I can't even work for myself. God said, I can make it all new for you. All I want you to do is just work for me. I said, well, if you can make me live and you can take these diseases from me, I'll try it. So in 3 months' time, I was well. I had all my diseases gone. I was walking like a normal person. In 1987, I couldn't even walk very much. I was just crippled. And so he blessed me with healing. He took away my racism. I was raised in Tennessee where we were against the black people. And he took away all my hate and anger, and he gave me love for everybody. So then my life just turned around. And I forgot about money. I sold all my businesses, I sold all my assets, and I just said, now I'm working for God. And you know what? I've been healthy. I've been happy. And I haven't needed much money. I never begged for money. I never asked for money. If I need money, I find a job, make a little money, or somebody just comes up to me and says, yeah, God said you needed this. Okay. That's the way my life is now. So when you work for God, He takes care of you. Mm-hmm. And then I ran into this woman 19 years ago, and she decided she could tolerate me, so we've had a happy life. A simple life is the happy life, really. Simplicity. And so I'm promoting a new birth of freedom and integrity in America, calling our people back to God. To find that freedom. that only God can give. Freedom from slavery to food, to drugs, tobacco, alcohol, freedom from the love of money, freedom from racism, freedom from hate, freedom from anger, total freedom. I can get along with atheists because I love everybody. You know, Forrest Gump said this. I have this one in common with Forrest Gump. I'm not a smart man, but I know what love is. And so, I know what love is. And once you know that, the rest of it's simple. Nothing complicated. But boy, it took me a long time to get that one in my head, in my heart.
Distance.
I wanted love, you know, I wanted to be loved, but I didn't want to love other people.
0
I
miles.
wanted it one way. Take care of me, but I don't want to take care of you.
17 seconds.
Now that and you know, it's so funny how it seems like if you love other people, you're going to lose something. But it just comes back to you more. Mm-hmm. You send it out, it comes flying back at you. Whatever you sow, you reap. Whatever seeds you put in the ground, that's what you're going to harvest. Mm-hmm. So, if you want me to talk for a couple hours, I can. You probably got enough to write a book already.
Yeah. So what has been the most challenging part of your trek?
Pain.
Pain.
Yesterday, day 105. Correct myself. 105. It was like I had not walked one day yet. I walked 16.6 miles, and I had pain from the very start. And I had pain for 6.5 or 5. How many hours? 6.5 hours? I think it's 6.5 hours that walk. I had pain, and by the time I got to the buffet to eat, I could hardly walk. I was in so much pain. Today, it's a new day. It's a different day. No pain today. It's strange how that happens.
Yeah.
Some days I don't get nights I don't get enough rest, and it tells on me the next day. I have to grit my teeth, and I have to just pray. God help me, please help. And then I have to march walk by faith. I have to repeat that over and over and over to keep me mentally from just caving in. Because the pain feels like fire on my feet and knives cutting my legs. But if this was my idea, I would have stopped a long time ago. But doing it for God keeps me going. And sometimes He takes away pain. I was down the road a piece, and it was getting hot fire. And I saw some clouds coming, and I said, Lord, I sure need some shade. And you know that cloud just went right over me and shaded me and cooled me. And then a breeze came, and I just said, thank you, Father, for cooling me up. Another time He sent a 18-wheeler, and I sang a song about it. It's called The Blessing of an 18-wheeler. That was going to be a hit song one of these days. But, you know, it's all about God and country. General Douglas MacArthur, who was born in Little Rock, Arkansas, said, duty, honor, country. I put it, God, duty, honor, country. But, you know, I just want to see at least one person benefit from what I'm doing. And I know it's already happened. There's so many people coming to me, stopping me on the side of the road. Young people wanting to know me and shake my hand. And it gives me hope for America, because if young people can see a good man doing something good for America, Don't you think they would like God, to be with God? You know, if they like good things, they certainly would like to be with God. But they haven't seen God in the people.
Yeah.
So the people need to show the young people who God is by their kindness and their straightforward and righteous behaviors. And don't be hypocrites. If you're going to talk the talk, walk the walk. If you answer the phone, if the wife answers the phone and the dad says, "Tell him I'm not here," and the wife says, "Oh, he's not here," and the young people are listening to that one, how are they going to respect that one? Right? It's better to just say, "He's here, but he doesn't want to talk to you." Right? Just be honest. So, but people are, I don't know. I do know. I was locked up. Yeah, I was locked up in my own world. Sometimes you have to come to the bottom of the barrel. You smell the dead fish before you want to get out of the barrel. Just like the Prodigal Sons. He was wrestling with the pigs and the pigs.
Distance,
You know,
9.9
of course, Jews were not supposed to touch pigs.
miles.
You know, that's
Average
unclean.
pace,
He's in there living with the
minutes,
pigs, you know.
47
Pretty
seconds.
soon he says, "I think I need to go back to my father. It was better at home." And of course, father's out there saying, "When's my son coming? I know he's coming back. He's coming back." You know, and that's the way God is. He's up there just saying, "I know my children are coming back." And so he told me, he says, "I want America to come back. America is my prodigal. I raised up America to be the lighthouse of the world. And now they kicked me out of the stadium, but I want to be the head coach." Yeah. And so that's what I'm working for.
Rain too? Or do you stop?
You know, I've walked through some rain, but when that heavy, heavy rain comes, it rained me out one day only. I walked 5 miles, I think it was, and I had to stop. See, my feet get wet, and once your feet get wet, you can get blisters really
Oh,
easy,
yeah.
you know. And if I get too wet up in here, I'm afraid I get a lung infection or
Yeah.
something. So tomorrow, we're going to see what happens. I think the rain's coming tomorrow. So I'm going to start early and walk as far as I can. When I start to get soaked, Barbara's going to pick me up. I just have to cut it short.
Okay. So how early do you get started?
Daylight. And I have started in the dark before. Yeah. In cities, like if I start in a city where there's street lights, I can start in the dark. And if you have wide shoulders. Now these shoulders are not wide enough. I cannot start here.
Yeah.
But some places they have, like this one, very wide shoulders. I can walk over here in the dark and nobody's going to run into me.
Yeah.
But I don't like it to be too dark because then I can't salute the people and they can't see me. But the latest I've started is what? 8 or 9.
Maybe 8 o'clock?
Yeah. We used to start a little bit later, but we found out, you know, it was getting very hot in a lot of the areas, and we said, okay, if we get finished by noon, it's better. The only problem with that is, if you want news media to cover you, they don't get up till 8, you know, and they don't get to work until 10 or something, and then they don't get out on the job until 11. I'm not talking about you guys. You know, television, they have their meeting at 9, you know, and their meeting will run till 10. And then by the time they decide to get out there, they got to drive an hour or whatever. And I'm already finished walking. So then I have actually said, "Oh, it's okay. I'm not finished walking quite yet." And I run back out there and start walking some more. You know, just so I can get coverage, you know, because I don't want to miss the opportunity. Because, you know, otherwise, if the news doesn't get it to the people, they're just making up things in their head, like, this looks like an old man, maybe he's a homeless veteran, probably begging for money. We don't want to stop and talk to that guy, you know, and that's because that's a lot of crazy people doing that stuff, you know. And I want people to know the real facts of what I'm doing. Not that the television's going to tell the facts, but they can tell some of the facts anyway. I tell you, the newspapers do the best because they take notes and sometimes they record it with the digital recorders. And they take the salient parts and put it together in a nice story. So I like you guys a lot.
Thank you. So how long do you walk before you stop to rest for the day?
You know, it's according to my pace and how many times people stop me along the road. I have been on my feet 7.5 hours, but sometimes I finish in 4.5, 5 hours. Today is the slowest day I've ever had because I've been stopped many times and had long meetings with people. I'm probably not going to get in my 16 miles. I'll probably have to cut it short before I get to Vion. But that's okay. We'll make up for it another day. Like I said, I'm not in a race. I think I've walked about 12 miles so far today. I'm starting to hurt. My feet are starting to hurt a little bit. Usually I can walk, normally I can walk 10 or 12 miles and my feet are okay. But then if I don't change shoes, they'll start hurting.
Pace 31
And
minutes.
I can feel them now. They're starting to.
Seconds per mile.
They're starting to say, I don't like it very well.
I'll let you go then because it's starting to get warm.